credits? They're rolling already?
Today we are reviewing a throwback to the early 2000s. The New Guy, released in 2002, is a teen comedy starring DJ Qualls and Zooey Deschanel. While we were debating on what movie we should watch next, Alex quite ecstatically recommended The New Guy. I was unfamiliar with the movie, but if Alex is recommending it, how bad could it really be? I'm joking, of course. It was quite humorous and enjoyable for the wild ride of a movie that it was.
I remember loving this movie when I was younger, but I forgot how wild of a ride this movie was until Titus, who finished the movie before me, sent me a message that was basically along the lines of, what the actual did I just watch? And, well, yeah, you might have that question after this movie, but you definitely will also be holding your sides from laughter. Unfortunately, this movie is no longer on Netflix, and it isn't on any of the other streaming platforms either, which means you have to either rent it or you have to buy it, which, well, it's an inconvenience, but it's not as bad as having to go to the store in the 2000s, which is when this movie came out. Anyways, so it's important to remember that in the early 2000s, they started doing this exaggerated comedy where they would basically take things and blow them out of proportion. So when they would blow things out of proportion like that, it was for the sake of comedy. Now, that's basically what this movie just did to an extreme. The movie starts when we're introduced to a guy in prison who's telling the story of a Dizzy Gillespie Harrison, who is, like we would all assume, probably a nerd who's somewhat unknown in a school, and he's picked on by bullies. And, so he gets his manhood right-angled by an 80-year-old librarian at lunch on the first day of his senior year. And because of that, his nurse, guidance counselor, his guidance counselor calls in his dad and is like, it's not his fault. He's got Tourette's. Here's some medicine, which, by the way, would never happen. But anyways, let's keep going. Next scene we see he's at a mall. He's like, yo, man, what's up? I'm doing stuff, and these meds don't work. So then the meds are obviously working because he gets in front of an entire choir and starts preaching about how he got, his manhood right-angled, and how if abstinence is king, he's basically Jesus. And so, of course, he gets arrested and he goes to jail, and he gets introduced to the guy who's telling us the story. And he learns some prison tricks on how to be a badass because, jail is just like high school. So with jail being just like high school, they go ahead and he reinvents himself. And, well, yeah, everything in jail somehow seems to work out for him in prison, or everything in jail works out, but the wrong way when he tries to apply it in high school. There's, he learns how to fight. He learns how to be a badass without meaning to. There's a scene where he steals a horse from the football coach and leads his team to victory, despite not actually playing any football. And then there's a Braveheart scene where he throws a sword and leads an army of fans towards the field for the final game. It's pretty funny, and of course, like I said, it's extremely exaggerated.
The New Guy does not bow to the laws of realism. The scenes we are graced with are almost devoid of realism in the most hilarious way possible. But that is also what makes this movie enjoyable to watch. In fact, if this movie weren't so funny, the unrealistic scenes would derail the movie in the worst possible way. At one point, Dizzy connects the classroom TV to the security camera, rips the security camera out of the wall, and drags what must be the longest cord ever throughout the entire school just to film his principal in the bathroom, and somehow doesn't get expelled from that. What does he actually get expelled for? Go on, guess. I'm waiting. Oh, right, I can't hear you. Well, he gets expelled for breaking a broomstick. That's right, a broomstick. And that right there is just the tip of the iceberg. Let's just say that if you're looking for a realistic film, The New Guy is not the movie for you. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the movie, but we would not be movie critics if we didn't address the glaring problems with the movie. We've said it before, and I'll say it again. The New Guy is one wild ride with humor that would get it canceled in 2021. However, despite its almost mocking approach to realism, it is still unbelievably funny and quite enjoyable to watch. While I don't expect to pull this one off the shelf anytime soon, I would recommend giving it a go if you haven't already. We rate The New Guy a 6 out of 10.
If you've got a movie you want us to review, let us know. Leave a comment, send us a message, or reach out on any of our social media. The link tree is in the description below. And if you're feeling especially generous, hit us up on Patreon where you can guarantee your movie will be seen and reviewed. This has been V&I Nation, and we'll see you the next time the credits roll.